Go ahead, Professor Kroemer.
Well, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here and discuss innovation. And I thought I start real quick with a view on the current German health system, which, as you know, works quite well. On the other hand, it's extremely expensive, and we have an extremely challenging demography in our country, and therefore, for the future, we have to expect reduced resources in terms of financial support and, so to speak, innovation for a long time in our country was an add-on which you could do in your hospital. In the near future, innovation is an absolutely must, and you have to prepare yourself for that. And there are several changes necessary, which I guess we both will discuss in an intense manner because we did it before already. It has to do with structure, with mindset, and with content. And let me say a couple of words on structure. A German academic center like Charité is completely funded by the state. So the owner of this beautiful house, Berlin, owns also Charité. And for a very long time, we did not have any contributions from the Federal Republic. And in the case of Charité, they allowed us to integrate the Berlin Institute of Health in our system, which is devoted to translation, and a major part of translation is innovation. So we had the chance to completely restructure our system in an interaction of the Berlin Institute and Charité in BIH and Charité innovation part. So the structural basis for change was given by that. The integration started beginning to now 2 years ago. And the next thing, which is at least equally important, and we discussed that before, is a change in mindset. Because at a traditional academic center, there are certain values which people are kind of evaluated on, and this is mainly publications, that is clinical duties, and things like that. So there has been in the past never a real place for innovation in the mindset and in the development of our youngsters. This changes because with the structure which I just mentioned, we are able to get people early in the innovation track. We get physician innovation track possibilities, and so there are currently major changes which are based both on the structural part and on the mindset part. And now, why Israel? I mean, from the German side, we were always totally fascinated by Israel and the power of youngsters going in the direction of startups. We always had the impression that there was much more, from various sources, much more pressure in Israel to move forward, getting innovations done in a rather small country, being heavily threatened from the outside. All these parameters we, at least until recently, did not have in Germany. So it makes a lot of sense to learn from Israel in the way to motivate youngsters and get them to a certain point. And that was, I think, early on recognized by the Israel Innovation Authority, because they early on put a health tech pilot program together with Charité. And that was quite interesting because youngsters from Israel were asked to apply at this program and then interact and connect with physicians at Charité. And why it can be critical, who would like to do that? Well, if you look at the numbers, there were 70 applications, and from that were 25 selected to interact in the first round, to interact with physicians from Charité, and from these 25, at the end of the day, 4 were selected. So in the extreme selection process, ending with really successful youngsters. And I think this is an additional thing, aside from the individual structure, from the mindset change, also to get our both states interested in this interaction. So I think it's overall it has been a very fruitful interaction. And everybody in the room knows at the end of the day it's all on personal interactions. So we have lots of them to Israel, to various places. And from German side, I can really say that we can learn from you how you did these first steps, and also other things which are a problem in our country, like raising high enough money for the startups. All these things are going to change, and we hope we get there in due course.
Thank you, Heyo. First, when I speak about innovation, I must say that we all have to acknowledge that innovation is a revolution. It's a revolution globally. It's a revolution in the way that you think. It's across all industries. Any leader of any organization, not only healthcare, must think and create a culture of innovation. It's a must. You cannot go ahead and say that you have an excellent organization and you are striving for excellence without innovation. And why is that? Because the obvious has already been invented. We are dealing with the obvious. We are dealing with what is good, but we want to do better. In order to do better, we have to reinvent. We have to rethink, we have to redesign, and we have to restructure a lot of things. And the barrier for that is what is working, is the automatic pilots that are working in any organization, in any industry. So you have to flip your mind and try to find the other way to operate, the other way to manage your system. And this is innovation. So you have first to change culture. If you have a very hierarchical culture, very formal, risk-avert, then these are barriers for innovation, because you need to be a risk-taker, informal, push your people, your organization, your system, your country, anyone, to do trial and error, give medals for error. This is innovation, and this is what we want to share. Medicine is an industry that has a lot of barriers because there's the hierarchy, the clinical guidelines, the textbook, the Holy Grail textbooks, and of course, formality is the name of the game. And our task is to bypass that and to make sure that our organization has a culture of not only research, not only R&D, not only curious minds and researchers and PhD and formal sciences, but creative people, innovative people, and we must lead for incentives to go for that. So in Israel, there is a culture of innovation, there is a culture of startups, due to many reasons, maybe due to our culture that we are unplanned, informal, doesn't give respect for hierarchy. These were disadvantages at the past, but maybe we leverage that to be kind of a startup nation. So this is what we bring to the table. When I'm running the Tel Aviv Medical Center, then I'm surrounded by a density of startups and people entering my office. I only have to open the door. When I'm opening the door, then I'm tackled by many startups. You've seen here few of them, but they are coming in and out my office. I only have to open the door and open my mind, but I have to do another thing, change the culture. Make sure that the culture of my physician, my specialist, my directors, my chief of oncology, for example, are open-minded. The residents and the intern and the students as well. They will not close the door. I need them to open the door, to open their minds. So this is Israel, but we need partners. For me, the partnership with Germany is of huge importance. Why? Because of the systematic way that German institutions are working, because of the resources, because of the way that they can set a target and accomplish it. So just mingle, just, blender the Israeli approach with the German approach and take the advantage from the German institution system. You know, a year ago, they visited Tel Aviv, and we're talking about exchange of data between the healthcare organization and opt-out kind of a system. They have a law in place. It took them few months, a year or so. So this is why we are looking at this kind of partnership. It's a gold mine, in my view. Tel Aviv Medical Center and Charité and other medical center in Israel, other medical center in Germany, together, and the right combination can lead healthcare innovation, in my view. And this is what Professor and I are discussing and trying to set the stage for that.
Well, overall, I have to say that I think that your view of Germany is a bit too positive. But aside from that, it's completely true. And there are a couple of factors in this problem which we may tackle in this brief conversation. One of them is if you have youngsters, people who really drive innovation, and on the other hand, you need people who have a long-lasting experience in clinics and can really evaluate whether an innovation will fly, whether it will really contribute to the outcome of patients. And to structure that is, I think, very, very important. And we should not leave the possibility completely out of our minds to unite these two actions into single persons. So we try at Charité very early to get young physicians, explicitly young physicians who take care of patients during the day, getting them really excited in this innovation direction. You could have them in teams, one of them being the entire day at the innovation part, the other in the clinics, but they have to interact, and if they want to interact, they have to speak the same language. And this is something we are really interested how to develop. And the other thing which I'm fascinated by is that there are multiple innovations in the world which are completely different from medicine, which are run by non-medical people, which are readily transferable to the medical field. And this is also something in Berlin which we try to do in a rather systematic manner. Here are thousands of startups in the city, and many of them do things like, for example, in logistics. We talked to a company who did general logistics, like following machines or something like that through a factory, which you could readily transfer to a huge hospital. And to apply that in a systematic manner also offers a certain advantage in directions we don't have yet. On the other hand, it's pretty clear the startup nation is Israel and not Germany. So in this part, we really can learn from you, and that's one of the reasons why I was so positive towards this Israeli authority approach, like bringing youngsters from Israel to Germany and kind of a bit transplanting the mindset to our country.
So really, if you are getting into that, Heyo, what is the formula of a fruitful partnership, collaboration? What is then the first step that you think we should go ahead? What should we build something tangible, like a joint innovation center? Should we do exchange, conferences? What is the platform that you think it will be most fruitful?
I mean, I'm doing these jobs for a long time, and what I more and more believe on are structures. So we have to, first line is the base for the entire thing is trust. You have to trust each other. And then if you would have a structure which is housed not in one of the country, but in both, and you're able to exchange youngsters in both directions, it will be our hope that young people from Germany, if they go to Israel for a while, that they kind of inhale part of this innovative approach you have, which is more advanced than ours. And the other way around, it may be that if youngsters from Israel within the structures move for a while to Germany, that they get part of the what you said in your initial remarks, a structured approach to problems which may kind of characterize this country. So I'd be very much in favor to think about a common structure, but importantly, it has to be housed in both countries.
I envision taking this conference and make it as large as possible. Let's take the Mesa, for example, and I can envision 3,000, 4,000 participants, part from Germany, part from Israel, and all the exhibitions hall in the Mesa are filled with German startups and Israeli startups and panels. And this kind of a combination, in my view, all focus in healthcare, with session on AI, with session on medical devices, with session on biopharma, all focused in healthcare. Just imagine the leverage that this kind of a conference can do annually, once in Berlin, the next time in Tel Aviv, and vice versa. And just imagine that I'm saying there is no country in the world that it is the world leader in healthcare innovation. No, the States still not is the world leader. And of course, the opportunity in AI, blend all the possibilities again. Who is going to lead healthcare AI in the world? Who is going to be that? Who is going to put resources, takes the data and make sure that they will surface real insight, real algorithm, not, PR algorithms, but real ones, substantial ones, productive ones. So I believe that such a tool, platform, can leverage, startup culture in both countries.
I think when we were sitting there, we had a kind of a taste of that, right? I mean, looking to this real-view imaging holography setup, I'm pretty sure I would show that to my surgeons or cardiologists. They'd be totally excited about these things. So, as you said, the basis in exchange of knowledge, and as far as that is possible, with such a conference, we could also really think about an exchange of mindsets, seeing how the other side or the complementary side thinks, works, and aside from that, you always had the experience of being in the other country. So we can do that.
And once this, the headline of this conference is restart, so I hope that Benny is here in the crowd. If not, then this is kind of a challenge. I'm challenging him to go ahead and to restart it next year or this year, because for me, this tangible way of interacting will really leverage partnership, like we are doing the Tel Aviv Medical Center with Charité, and the Sheba Medical Center with Charité, and many other. But taking Israel as a whole, and taking Germany as a whole in the healthcare system, and just doing a large-scale interaction can blow our minds. So, thank you so much.